Hey, I'm Ava, and today I want to talk about something a little uncomfortable, but very real. It's that feeling when you know you want more from life. You have goals, you have plans, but your actions don't match them. You feel ambitious, but at the same time, you feel lazy.
Hey, I'm Luke. And yeah, I think many people don't like to admit this because from the outside, it looks like everything is fine. But inside, there is this constant pressure, like you're not doing enough.
And the strange thing is, you're not a person without dreams. In fact, you think a lot about your future. You imagine a better life, a better version of yourself. You even say things like, "One day I will fix everything."
But that one day never becomes today.
Yes, that's the problem. I remember there was a time when I used to plan everything. I had a notebook full of ideas, morning routines, study plans, content ideas. Everything was written. And for a moment, I felt productive. But the truth was, I was not really doing the work. I was just preparing to do it.
That's a very common trap. Planning feels like progress. It gives you a sense that you're moving forward, even when you're not.
And then you start living more in your head than in real life. You imagine success, but your daily routine doesn't support it at all. You wake up late, you scroll your phone, you delay tasks, and still you tell yourself, "I'll start tomorrow."
And tomorrow becomes next week, then next month.
Yes, and slowly a pattern forms. You feel motivated for 2 or 3 days. You wake up early, you try to change things, you feel like, this time it's different. But then your energy drops. You skip one day, then another, and suddenly, you're back to your old habits.
And that's when guilt starts.
That heavy guilt, yes. You sit there and think, why can't I stay consistent? You start questioning yourself, not your plan, but yourself. I used to do this a lot. At night, I would look at my day and feel disappointed. Not because I had no time, but because I wasted it. And the worst part, I knew I could do better.
That's the hardest feeling. When you know your potential, but you're not using it.
Exactly. And people call this laziness. But honestly, it doesn't feel like simple laziness. It feels deeper than that. Because you care. You really do. You want to improve your life. You want to grow. But your actions are slow or inconsistent.
It's like there is a gap between who you are and who you want to become.
Yes, and that gap feels painful. For example, you decide to go to the gym. You go for a few days. You feel good, and then you stop. Or you decide to improve your English. You watch some videos, maybe take notes, and then suddenly, you lose the habit. Or maybe you have a business idea. You think about it again and again, but you never take the first real step.
And after some time, you stop trusting yourself.
That's so true. You start feeling like, maybe I'm just not that kind of person. And that thought is dangerous, because now it's not just about one habit. It becomes your identity.
And once that happens, even small actions feel heavy.
Yes, even simple tasks feel like pressure. And then you escape again, into your phone, into random things, just to avoid that uncomfortable feeling. But deep down, you know what's happening. You know you're not moving forward.
And the more you avoid it, the worse it feels.
And I think this is the most painful part. It's not failure. It's not even hard work. It's that silent feeling that you're wasting your own potential. You're watching your own life and thinking, I can do more than this. But still, you don't act.
And that's where most people get stuck.
Yeah, so maybe the problem is not that you are lazy. Maybe the problem is you are ambitious, but you don't have control over your daily actions. And when your dreams are big, but your habits are weak, that's when this struggle really starts to show. Because after some time, it doesn't feel like simple laziness anymore. It feels confusing. I used to sit and think, why am I not doing the work when I clearly want this? That question used to bother me a lot.
I've asked myself the same thing. And I think the problem is we use the word lazy too quickly. It sounds simple, but the real reason is usually more complicated. There were days when I was not doing actual work, but I was not relaxed either. I was thinking all the time, and somehow that thinking made me more tired than real work.
That's so true. Overthinking drains your energy before you even start. You sit down to do one simple task, but your mind starts running ahead. What if this fails? What if I waste my time? What if I'm not good enough? And suddenly, that small task doesn't feel small anymore.
It becomes something bigger in your head than it actually is in real life.
And then you delay it, not because you don't care, but because your mind already feels overloaded. I remember opening my laptop to start working, and within 5 minutes, I was already tired. Not from work, but from thinking about everything that could go wrong. So I would just close it.
For me, it was a little different. I didn't overthink the failure part too much. I was more stuck in perfection. I kept telling myself, I'll start when I feel ready. But that ready feeling never came. I kept improving my plan, changing small things, but I was not taking action.
That's another trap. Perfection makes you feel like you're doing something right, but you're actually just delaying the start. I knew someone who wanted to start an online page. She had ideas, content topics, everything ready. But she didn't post anything for months. She kept saying, I want my first post to be perfect. After some time, she just stopped trying.
That's actually common. People don't fail because they start badly. They fail because they don't start at all.
And then there's comparison. That makes everything worse. You open your phone, and suddenly, everyone looks ahead of you. Someone is growing, someone is earning, someone is consistent. And your mind quietly says, you're already late.
And once that thought enters, your confidence drops. It feels like you're joining a race where everyone is already far ahead. So instead of running, you slow down even more.
Yes, and then you try to fix everything quickly. You work for 1 or 2 days, maybe you even feel a little productive, but inside, you're expecting fast results. When nothing happens, you feel disappointed, and your mind quickly decides, maybe this is not for me.
I did that many times. I would try something for a few days, and when I didn't see clear progress, I stopped. Looking back, I realize I never gave myself enough time.
And then the worst cycle begins. You don't do the work, you feel guilty. That guilt makes you feel low. And when you feel low, you don't want to work again. It becomes a loop, a very quiet loop. I went through this for a long time. Every night, I would promise myself, tomorrow I'll do better. But the next day, I felt the same heaviness again.
I think people ignore how much emotions affect action. It's not just about time or skills. If your mind is full of pressure, doubt, and comparison, even simple tasks feel difficult.
That's why calling it laziness is not always fair. Because if you truly didn't care, you wouldn't feel this pressure. You wouldn't feel this guilt. All of this shows that you care, but you're stuck.
So the real problem is not just lack of action. It's fear, overthinking, perfection, comparison, all mixed together.
And once you understand that, things start to become clear. You realize you were not just being lazy. You were dealing with too many thoughts without a clear way to act on them. And when that happens, forcing yourself to just work harder doesn't fix it. You need a different approach, a more honest one and a more realistic one. And when that happens, forcing yourself to just work harder doesn't fix it. I learned this slowly. I kept calling myself lazy for a long time, and after some point, I actually started believing it. It became part of how I saw myself. Like no matter what I try, I'll go back to the same pattern.
Yeah, that happens. I did the same thing. And once that label sticks, you stop trying seriously. It's like you already decided the result before even starting. That's why changing that thought matters more than people think.
So maybe the first step is simple, but important. Stop calling yourself lazy. You're not lazy. You're just inconsistent right now. An inconsistency can be fixed with small, repeated actions.
For me, that change started when I made my goals smaller. Earlier, I used to plan big days, 10 tasks, full routine, everything perfect. But then I couldn't complete anything. Now I just focus on one or two things, and I finish them.
Same here. I stopped making big promises to myself. Instead of saying, I'll work for 2 hours, I just say, sit for 20 minutes. And honestly, most of the time, those 20 minutes turn into more. But even if they don't, at least I showed up.
And that's the key, showing up, not waiting for motivation, not waiting for the perfect mood. Because if you wait for that, you'll keep waiting.
I stopped waiting to feel ready. I just started, even on days when I didn't feel like it. And slowly, I noticed something. Action creates energy. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, when you don't do anything, you feel more tired. But when you start something, even small, your mind wakes up a little.
And consistency matters more than intensity. You don't need one perfect day. You need many normal days where you do something small. That's what builds real progress.
I also changed how I look at results. Earlier, if I didn't see results quickly, I felt like I was failing. Now I just ask myself, did I show up today? If the answer is yes, that's enough.
That question really helps because results take time, but showing up is in your control. And when you focus on that, the pressure becomes less.
Also, people forget how much routine matters. Sleep, distractions, phone time, all of this affects your ability to work. If your routine is messy, your mind will also feel messy.
That's so true. I didn't fix everything at once. I just worked on a few things. Better sleep, less phone time, and one fixed time in the day for my work. Small changes, but they made a big difference.
And one more thing, stop being so hard on yourself. I realized that when I kept judging myself, it became harder to start again. But when I gave myself some space, it became easier to return.
Yes, guilt can remind you, but shame stops you. If you keep thinking you're not good enough, you'll avoid your own goals. So remove that pressure. Work with yourself, not against yourself.
And don't forget, your environment matters too. Too many distractions, no clear structure, all of that makes things harder than they need to be.
And finally, forgive your slow start. You're not late. You're just starting now. And that's okay. Because the truth is, you're not failing because your dreams are too big. You're stuck because your thoughts and your actions are not working together. But once they start moving in the same direction, things begin to change. Slowly, but clearly. If you're listening to this and you feel like this is your story, just start small. Don't wait for the perfect moment.
Yeah, just begin. Even a small step counts.
That's enough for today. If this helped you even a little, stay connected with us. There's more we'll talk about in the next episodes.
Take care and keep going.
We'll see you next time. Goodbye.